of the time, animated films are considered good, clean family entertainment. They're forced to defy the expectations of being just for kids. But animated movies have proven they can be every bit as powerful as their live-action siblings. Filmmakers have used the platform to tell compelling and heartfelt stories that speak to entire generations. Here are Screen Rant's 10 best animated films ever made. Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. Snow White was the first animated production by Walt Disney Studios. It had an impact on the industry that few movies will ever come close to. It combined vibrant art with some standout musical selections, and the film showed audiences that a brand new medium was on its way to theaters. But it would have been all for nothing if it wasn't for the memorable story. Viewers responded most to the great collection of characters, which are still heavily marketed even 80 years after the movie was released. Couple that with a narrative that spoke to both young and old, and you've got one of the most revolutionary movies ever put to film, The Lion King. The Lion King launched a new era for Disney animation. It was the comeback project the studio desperately needed to regain top form. The movie was fueled by an emotionally driven story on par with a Greek tragedy.
Long live the king.
It found the right balance between high drama and comedic hijinks. As one would expect, the animation was beautifully realized, making the film a technical achievement as well. Between the great characters, memorable songs, and relatable themes, it was an instant classic as soon as it hit theaters. The Nightmare Before Christmas. This Tim Burton production captured the imagination of viewers of all ages and was hailed as one of the more inventive animated movies ever released. Nightmare shows a style and ambition that few have ever tried to copy, blending music, comedy, and romance against a backdrop of both Christmas and Halloween. The movie's characters are grotesque but endearing enough to win over children. Their personalities and deception can only be grasped by their parents. The stop-motion techniques on display were also considered revolutionary, making the film a technical spectacle and an emotional journey. Toy Story. Pixar is the premier animation studio in the world today, and their first film success is the main reason why. Toy Story set the template many of their future projects would follow, as they crafted a thrilling adventure that both kids and adults could relate to. The youngsters appreciate the colorful collection of toys, while their parents were able to pick up on the themes of growing older and being replaced by something new. The movie's screenplay was even nominated for an Oscar, showing Pixar had what it took to be a major force in the industry. The Iron Giant. Brad Bird has made the leap to live-action blockbusters, but he got his start with this WB animated feature. The Iron Giant is a story that a viewer of any age can enjoy, playing on the classic boy and his dog trope. The movie is fueled by an allegorical tale about politics and military power. Overall, it's much more complex and well-performed than a children's movie ever needs to be, but parents aren't complaining. The Iron Giant wears its heart on its sleeve and deals with serious problems head-on. It finds a way to balance the awe-inspiring magic of movies with a story about fear of the unknown. The film star Hogarth may resemble the children who loved it, but to us, The Iron Giant was the first time that the rough, tough Vin Diesel worked his way into our hearts using his voice alone.
I, Superman.
Spirited Away. Studio Ghibli is one of the industry's top animation studios, and this Oscar-winning film shows us exactly why, from art style to its overall message. Everything from the film's voice acting to its direction was immediately praised by critics. They universally demanded that Spirited Away was the kind of whimsical fantasy that deserved to be seen by all children. The movie is one of the few that can be equally enjoyed by all ages and across every culture. It walks the line between eerie, terrifying, and downright fantastic. Not every animated film dares to dive into deep social commentary to provide strong substance, but we're glad this one did. Finding Nemo. Pixar had reached the top of their game in the 2000s, and this tale of a fish in search of his son is one of their greatest achievements. The film had the kind of universal message that audiences have come to expect from the studio. In this case, it focuses on parent-child bonds and how and when children should seek their own independence. The love between Nemo and Marlin is one for the ages. The fact that they only realize it once they've been separated by a vast ocean is the driving force of the narrative. Like so many other Pixar films, the supporting characters were top-notch too. The Tank Gang, and especially Dory, all found a permanent place in our hearts. How to Train Your Dragon. DreamWorks is seen by some as standing in the shadow of Pixar, but every so often they break through with a winner of their own. How to Train Your Dragon is a perfect example of a family film done with heart and intelligence. The movie's aerial sequences and heartwarming teamwork between the young Hiccup and the Dragon Toothless gave weight to the battles later in the film and delivered a happy ending despite everyone being scarred in the process. It's a touching tale of friendship with enough dramatic heft and insight to please everyone watching, so it's easy to see why this became one of the studio's flagship franchises. Who wouldn't want their own pet dragon? Despicable Me. The minions stole the spotlight, but the lovable yellow creatures aren't the only things that made Despicable Me a modern animated classic. At the film's core is an unlikely protagonist in Groot. He's a supervillain obsessed with ruling the world, until he comes across 3 adorable little girls who become much more than pawns in his evil game. Over the course of the film, Gru and his surrogate daughters become a caring family. It raises some serious questions about the ways in which every parent organizes their priorities. It's thoughtful, humorous, and emotional enough to sell any viewer. Despicable Me is a heroic accomplishment that shows there's good in all of us. The Lego Movie. The Lego Movie was ridiculed upon its announcement, but audiences everywhere were eating plenty of crow when the film was released. With its wild imagination and extreme creativity, Lego was able to crack the Pixar formula of having something for everyone. The movie's sharp humor and well-timed pop culture references gave it a cross-generational appeal. Directors Phil Lord and Chris Miller did a great job, using the film to offer biting social commentary and powerful statements on relationships, childhood, consumerism, and pack mentality. It's full of exciting action, crazy characters, celebrity cameos, and well-hidden jokes. All this to say, Lego showed that a toy movie could be done right. In the end, everything really was awesome.
Relax, everybody, I'm here.
Those are our picks for the best animated films ever made. Are there any we missed? Which ones are your favorites? Sound off in the comments below and be sure to subscribe to our channel for more videos like this one.